Welcome to the channel. So this is like the part 2 of how to get this lathe working. One of my initial ideas was about cutting these pieces straight. I went into one place where I could do them, but their equipment was so uncalibrated, unstraight that you couldn't get them straight. So I need to still figure out. But I would say even then I could just use the lathe to make this surface straight by cutting, so it shouldn't be a problem. I think one of the problems is my tools are not suitable for this. The woodworking tools they don't work. And I tried all kinds of tools. Nylon is an interesting material compared to, for example, metals. I mean, there's a chance that you can burn it or melt it or whatever if you have too much feed and too high a speed, meaning too much friction, and you will have problems, unlike metal. I mean, you can do it with metal as well, but not so easily. And it's very hard. It's got a very interesting form of the chip that it makes. Yeah, I could still use a lathe, but the one place where I had a lathe, possibly to use one, it's broken down and waiting for eternity to be repaired, and I'm not sure how well made it is. So I'm going to continue on this cheapest possible option path. So I looked for lathe tools. I don't know why, but they are crazy expensive. And moreover, I went into local hardware shops and which sell machine parts and so on and tools. And I like, do you have this tool holder which has the triangle? I don't know what it's in English. I know it's in my own language, but the shape of the actual cutting blade, triangle or different shapes. And could I have those? And like, no, sorry, we ran out. And you're coming. At some point, something came, something went. And honestly, I don't know what's going on with any kind of deliveries in this country or in the world, I don't know. So until I can, again, the same problems, until I can get something, I decided, okay, let's go again the cheapest alternative. I had to go make myself my own tool to cut this. I looked into the geometry, what it should be for nylon, and my first attempt, I'm just using a brass rod. This might not be sharp enough, but I think I got the angles correctly. So yeah, self-made tool. Let's see how well this one will work. It could be that it's too soft. For that I have bigger and better stuff here, but let's give it a first try to see if the geometry of the blade has much impact on it. I think it theoretically should. Okay, it needs to be tightened. I'm going to tighten this way. And my other tools are there at my cottage because or my proper tools, because I was building something there for my wife, namely a greenhouse, yeah, and then my garage because of the moped project. Okay, let's see if this one stays now still better. Okay, let's try again the tool, if it's any better than the others. Okay, I think you can see it here. I would say it's way more controllable, probably not sharp enough. I think the angles are correct. This tip here isn't straight enough. Of course, it's still difficult to get this straight because I need to keep either this one stationary or this one. But it's, I mean, I would need to have some sort of holder that would keep it here in the same spot. Starting to sound like a lathe, but I mean, at least it would be possible theoretically with a wood lathe. You don't need a metal lathe, but let's see. Yeah, it's about keeping the angle correct. So a tool holder would be needed. Because the moment you get the angle wrong, and this one gets actually dull quite quickly. So it should be steel, not glass. In principle, the result is that if you do the geometry correctly, yes, you can do your own tool to cut this quite well. I would say the problems are elsewhere. Okay, I'll post this video, at least the idea of doing some cheap piece of brass, and this one, it does work. You get the angles correct, you just Google online, you get the angles of this shape of the blade correct, and yeah, you can cut. This one just doesn't stay sharp very long. After making the previous video, first part of the video, like I said, I was not happy entirely with this tool, so I'm like, fine. Before going any further in trying to make this cheap lathe, I decided to make this part here. I'm just hoping it's somehow better visible in the screen, but about here it is. So let's give it a try and see if it works any better. Okay, again, this one doesn't stay well enough here, it needs to be tightened. I hope it's now tight enough there. Let's try again, if it's any better. Well, it takes nice small chips, so not so bad. Again, I'd say this is not the sharpest there is. Kind of seems to work. Maybe the shape should be slightly different. I'm not sure this is the ideal shape. I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of square, flat, but works. I would say this one, steel one, works way better than the brass one. It's still relatively sharp, but I'm not sure the geometry is still perfect, not perfect. The problem is keeping it here, keeping it correct angle, keeping it stationary. That's kind of like the big issue now. Okay. Next video maybe will be new blades. Maybe I have found something to buy and try. But even those, I think, even if I manage to get the ceramic or the ones with the changeable cutting blade, I don't know what they're in English, cutting blades, but even then I think the problem is that I can't keep this, it's so hard that I can't keep it stationary. Even small wobblings and it starts to push against this one. Okay, so this was part 2. Try the tools. You can theoretically, by improving, I think I could make better tools. Maybe it should be hardened, this edge. Need to think about how to get that done. And I think the biggest challenge is getting some sort of holder that I could keep the tool here fixed and move it in place and make it as cheap as possible. Let's see, or if I manage that, or I need to give up my principles of trying to make this cheap. When I will have next video will come out, not sure. Could come soon, could come after, I don't know, in August, July. Well, we will see. I have a lot of other work to do, which I'm getting paid for in the daytime, so I have to do that first. Yeah, thank you for watching my useless attempt in making a lathe, cheap as possible lathe. Well, it's not cheap. It's already expensive bearings in it. But let's see how far I will go. Thank you for watching, and see you in maybe lathe video or another video coming about soon.